Good day and welcome to today's Mustard Seeds episode with Serena Brennan, a young woman who came my way, like so many things do in life when you least expect them. We were doing an interview with Albert Bernicki, which you would have seen in the last few weeks. And all of a sudden there's this wonderful young woman who's there and part of the story and yet not part of the story on screen, but it was pretty obvious that there was a message here for everybody, and she is most definitely fitting the description of a mustard seed because this little girl had a dream, and like so many of us, that dream was just a little bit more than a dream. It was probably a destiny, but it took a while to figure it out. So welcome, Serena.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
To our TVC 22 Mustard Seeds. I would like to go back for a moment to little Serena when she first thought that she wanted to be a singer and discovered a talent.
When I was little, I sang all the time since I could remember. Probably when I was in diapers, probably. And
only your parents didn't call that singing, they called it something else, right?
Yeah. I was singing and probably annoying everybody.
Yeah,
I annoyed everybody around me. I sang at school or when I wasn't supposed to. It just was a big part of me and inside of me, but I didn't really have any direction and where that would go in my life, but I always enjoyed it. It was a gift.
You listened to the radio, you listened to records.
I listened to the radio and I learned all the lyrics and I would be singing them all the time, and I just wanted to perfect them and do something with it.
And when was the first time somebody told you or you became aware that you were good at it?
They would tell me, you have a nice voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I did come to Ottawa. When I came to Ottawa, I entered a competition and I won.
How old were you?
Probably 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they said that I had a really nice voice and,
Okay.
but I didn't really have any direction, and then I had kids. And then, I just put it on hold. I was sort of a in the shadows kind of singer. So I didn't really think that it was going to go anywhere or do anything with it. So I went out and got a career like everyone else. A real career that would make me some money.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Turning singing into a career is a difficult thing, and you really need help with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that most people can't do on their own. Although these days with Facebook and YouTube, just about anybody can prepare something that they post, but still, that takes a lot of courage. And you don't strike me as the kind of person who was really get up and go out and just do this because I want to. No, you're a little bit shy.
Shy and reserved, and I would need a manager and direction and someone to work with, maybe a vocal coach, and all those things cost money and take time.
Yeah.
So, but it's something I definitely enjoyed and wanted. I wrote poetry, and maybe someday I could write a song. And
okay, I was going to ask you about that. So you wrote poetry, but you hadn't written songs?
No, I liked music, but I didn't really come up with anything that was really good. But that's all changed when I met Albert, because he's a singer-songwriter and he would like to use some of my poetry and incorporate it into some of his new songs that he would like to write.
Smart man. Okay. So how many children do you have?
I have a 19-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
All right.
One boy and two boys and one girl.
2 boys and 1 girl. And do they sing as well?
Not really. They like music, but they don't have a passion for it.
All right.
But I always sang with them. My youngest had a really good voice, but he's in a different phase in his life right now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he'll discover that later on like I did.
Mm-hmm. So when you used to sing to them, did they say, "Oh, Ma," or "Oh, Ma, that's nice"?
Keep going.
Lovely.
They loved it. I sang in the car to them all the time, and I used to drive a school bus, and I would sing to the kids all the time, and they loved it.
So there was encouragement in your life then. It wasn't like completely on the back burner, never thought about it again.
No, it was always inside me, but not developed.
All right.
Not discovered, not really no direction. I didn't know where to use my voice.
Okay, so then Prince Charming in the form of Albert Bernicki comes along, and how does he discover that you have a voice?
I started learning his music and singing all his songs, and I started
Just for fun?
He would sing a verse and then I would sing a verse, and that's how we decided to put Canadian Soldier into a duet. So he really liked the way that I sounded, and I matched his voice, the harmony, really well, and everybody that heard us around the campfire, wherever we were, just told us how beautiful it sounded together.
And we're going to hear it
Yeah.
later on. All right, but the purpose of this show is to discover how people find their calling, their talent. Now, not everybody, as a young child, has any clear talent such as you had. But you were only dimly aware of it, so you really didn't know that this made Serena special. You were looking for something else to make Serena special.
Hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And yet there was this lingering specialness, but you simply were not aware of it.
No.
And I think that's something that happens with a lot of people, is they, as a child, when we're, I mean, does this resonate with you, what I'm saying? That as a child, when we're young and pure and still unshaped and unaffected by society and customs and expectations, we know ourselves better than we do later on in life. Would you say that that somehow makes sense? That if you had not had the opportunity, the freedom you had as a child to sing, you might not have discovered it? If someone had told you, "Oh, Serena, be quiet, you're making too much noise."
Yeah, nobody ever told me not to sing.
No.
No, they just kept going, go with your dreams.
All right.
Yeah.
So later on, you just decided that you had to, I mean, you became a mother, which is a career in and of itself. It's a lot of work. Plus, you were working while you were a young mother, or you?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
I was always working. I've always been working.
So
but
you're
I
not
have a
afraid of
good-
hard work?
No, I have
Okay.
a good, strong work ethic.
All right.
So
And-
I love working with Albert. We work together as well.
What do you work at?
We are OC Transpo drivers, so that's our career, daytime
I was
job.
kind of hoping that you would say that you're like a mechanical engineer and you work on the buses. That would have been cool. But OC Transpo bus driver, that's pretty impressive too. That's not
Yeah.
easy.
No,
No.
and I enjoy it.
Good. How long have you been doing that?
3 years, almost 3
3
years.
years? All right. What were you doing before that?
I was a school bus driver,
Oh, wow.
and then I worked at a hospital.
Oh, okay. Okay. So as a school bus driver, you'd be singing to the kids? No?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And you get them to sing along?
Yes.
That it's really hard to connect with kids these days, whether they're young or teenagers or what. And singing seems to be a wonderful way to connect with everybody, don't you find?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is. And that's why I connected with Albert so strongly, because the lyrics in his music, they speak for themselves. There's so much love and passion in those words.
I
and
know.
messages
I know.
to share with the world. So,
That's what struck me with his music too. That there's the pain of life, and there's
Mhm.
love, and there's hope, and those things are the things we need to hear
yes.
through poetry, through music. Most definitely. Can't be just caught up in the pain of this world. That doesn't do anybody any good. So you are, okay, so you have dreams now. Your life has changed with Albert. And I think we talked about the movie A Star is Born and
Yes.
how it resonated with you. Tell me how.
I never knew that they did that movie over and over again. So it was the first time I ever watched A Star is Born, but this one
Okay.
was really cool because Lady Gaga was in it, and
She's amazing, eh?
she's amazing. And and how, you know, she sort of had this talent inside of her, but it was undiscovered, you know. And that's how Albert looks at me, like, wow, he just wants me to shine just right beside him, you know. He's doing all these great things, and with his music and fundraising for the Canadian Cares and all the things he does with it, ministries and different organizations, the Alzheimer's Society, the walk that he'll be singing at that's coming up. So he does great things with his music, and he always wants me there beside him, helping him and singing beside him, so that I feel good inside too, because he knows that that makes me feel good. And music can do that. It has that much power.
And you
It's
like
better than anything.
Oh, I agree. I agree. It is a talent that I wish I had, at least to be able to play it or sing it, but I don't, for some reason. I'll figure out what that reason is someday. Probably have other talents. But in the meantime, you are then doing all of these wonderful things with Albert and your music, and I don't hear any dreams of making the big times and
I think
going.
it would be really cool for Albert if a major artist sang one of his songs. I think that would be, or that me and him sang Canadian Soldier on Parliament Hill on Canada Day, or something, or at a Sens game, Red Blacks game, that we sang the Canadian Soldier.
It would be great, because you would obviously touch a lot of heartstrings if you did it. The only thing is that so often when you see performers, it just means so much more when you know their stories. It's so much more human. It's not just another person with a talent. It's a person. It's a person with the struggle that they had to go through to get there is not always clear.
No.
And you've had to, well, in a sense, you're showing that it's never too late, right? Because
because I thought it was dormant. Like, I never thought it was going to awaken again. I never thought that I would be singing again, or doing this, or being here, or singing, you know, in front of crowds. I never thought that would ever happen. I thought it was dead. And then he revived it for me. He found me, and he blessed me with giving me these opportunities to do these now, to sing for people and to share the messages. The music that he wrote is beautiful.
And you're going to be performing these for charitable causes.
Yes.
You've got a whole bunch lined up already. And one of those he was mentioning includes a mission down to
Dominican Republic. We're going to be, we've done some fundraising over the summer, and
using your music?
Using Albert's music, and then we did a major concert that raised over $3,000 to help build this home for a needy family, a working poor family in Dominican Republic. So we're really excited to be leaving on that trip very shortly.
Oh, heavens, yes.
So that's part of our Canadian Cares mission. I'm pretty excited to be giving back, and it's rewarding.
So Albert has brought more into your life than just the music. It's a whole new lifestyle.
Yes.
And something that you can appreciate so much more, perhaps, because there was, in your earlier years, maybe a little bit of a hole that wasn't quite complete, even with 3 beautiful kids.
Yes. There's always you.
Yes.
And, you know, you have 3 beautiful children, but you have to sometimes think about yourself first, so you can give back. And now I'm going to be able to share these memories with my children. Look, my mom was doing that, and my mom was singing there. I'll be able to share that music, and they'll be able to listen to those words and messages, and maybe fill some of those empty holes in their hearts.
And those messages are important, because I find, I don't know about you, you're a lot younger than me, but today's music so often doesn't have any messages. It has...
Yeah, that's like what my son was listening to the other day. He was listening to some vulgar music, and I said, oh, that just sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And I said, "Do you like country?" He said, "The only country I like is Albert." So I know that Albert, his music has touched my children's lives, and they do listen to it, and they say, "That's really good, Mom. That's really good." They do appreciate what I do and appreciate what Albert's done, and they love listening to his music. So he does touch people's lives, and he's certainly touched me and my children, and I'm excited about this journey, what we're going to be doing.
Well,
ahead.
for sure. And where you're going in the Dominican Republic, and I guess in all of Latin America, South America, there is so much music. And much of that music is stories. And some of those songs just go on and on and on.
He loves to tell stories.
And it's great because families get together, they have parties, and everybody sings and everybody dances, and you may not come back. Gee, now that I think about it, you're going to feel so at home there.
Yeah, it's going to certainly be interesting and nice to see.
Do you speak any Spanish?
No.
Nope, not yet.
I'll pick up a few words, hopefully.
Well, they say that one of the best ways to learn a language is through music, through songs.
Yes.
So
Sometimes I sing in French. I do speak a little bit of French, and Albert sings some songs in French, and I'll sing along with them. I'd be interested in learning
yeah.
French and singing in French.
Well, we do live in Canada after all, and there is a very large Francophone population, as there is throughout the world, and lots of festivals. There's a festival here in Ottawa, there's a festival in Toronto, and who knows?
The sky's the limit.
Yeah, the sky is the limit, absolutely. So what do you have to do anything? Have you had to change anything in your life to, now that you're aware of your voice, to take care of your voice?
I never smoked. I was never a smoker or anything like that because I value my voice, I want to save it, what I have. And we did join a choir at our church, and that helps me with my vocal range and different things, and just singing with Albert and drinking water with lemon.
No, what I'm thinking of is years ago I read an interview with Celine Dion when she was just young and starting out, and she said that they hated her in hotels whenever she went to stay in one because she would immediately turn on the taps in the bathroom to increase the humidity in the room, and she'd be running the water all the time. Is that something that you're now more aware of, especially in our dry, hot dry winters? Yeah.
It is.
Oh dear, so there's a price to pay.
Yeah, there is, and hopefully I don't crack my voice when I sing today.
See, for people like me and many others, it's something that we're just not aware of. We're aware of a dry throat, but we're not aware of how much of a strain there is on the vocal cords from singing. So you're getting some awareness of that and training and... Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, I sing too much and then I have to stop because I don't want to strain your vocal cords.
All right.
Is there it's practicing.
Has anyone mentioned to you this thing about eating a green apple before singing?
No.
Nope. Okay, it's some opera singers somewhere mention that. The things you pick up along the way.
Anybody can sing. I've never been trained or anything like that. It's just something that I do I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But maybe I might need some training later on.
Well, once your voice...
I use YouTube.
You use YouTube?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go on YouTube if I'm having a struggle. Yeah, for coaching. If I have a struggle with something, I'll go on YouTube and I can research and find out, okay, maybe I need to do that. YouTube has everything.
It's true. It's amazing. It's amazing. I once cleaned feathers out of a dryer, took it apart through YouTube. You can do anything through YouTube, except develop a talent. Now, speaking of talent and speaking of this wonderful Albert, I know that the audience would be absolutely delighted to hear one of your songs.
Sure.
And so we're going to ask you to do something. Which one?
Canadian Soldier.
Canadian Soldier. All right, fantastic.
So this is a song called Canadian Soldier as a duet. Battles of Quebec through
The Plains of Abraham.
Vimy Ridge, Normandy,
The war in Afghanistan.
Korean Ortona Beach,
Together they still stand
fighting fiercely.
to protect the freedom of our land.
Post-wars of Croatia,
Persian Gulf and Bosnia.
Operation Octos 1091,
Desert Storm in Amanda.
to our peacekeeping missions in
Afghanistan and Iraq.
Canadian Soldier,
Helping NATO to fight back.
when duty calls
They will be there
to take their place.
and do their share.
They will fight for you
They will die for you.
to keep us free. Canadian soldiers standing on guard for thee. Let's give thanks and honor those
Who fought and died for us.
who sacrificed it all to save,
The land we love so much.
fighting to keep this country.
Glorious and free.
Our Canadian soldier,
Standing strong for you and me.
when duty calls
They will be there
to take their place.
and do their share.
They will fight for you
They will die for you.
to keep us free. Canadian soldiers standing on guard for thee. When duty calls
They will be there
to take their place.
and do their share.
They will fight for you
They will die for you.
to keep us free.
For all to see.
Canadian soldiers standing on guard for thee. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I think you guys are adorable.
Thank you very much.
I would say that Gotalina and Gotalon have found each other. And for those of you who don't have a Latin American background, look it up. It's a beautiful story about two little drops of water that go through several adventures before they find each other again. Something to do with being burped up by turtles and falling into streams and whatnot. But, you know, that's life, right? That's life.
Certainly is.
It's a beautiful song, Albert.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank
it's
you.
a beautiful voice, and it's a beautiful guitar that your lady gifted you.
She certainly has, yes.
So you guys are keeping it going back and forth. And this is, of course, that's the way it's done. You're right. And that's how dreams come true, ladies and gentlemen. Just when you least expect it, be aware, keep your hearts open, keep your minds open, and life will provide, as it has for these two wonderful people, who we will be watching, because there's great things ahead for you.
Yes.
And we hope to see you again.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you and see you next time for our next show, which will be hard to top this one, but we'll try.